Welcome back to the show. Check out these headlines. XRP yield, ISO20022, 12-day countdown. Oh my goodness, we're going to look at it. XRP blow off top? I have no idea. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and DigPerspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.63 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 0.6%. Bitcoin, 105,000 plus. Ethereum, 3,500 plus. XRP number 4 spots 245. We're off 0.4 on the 24. We're up 9.3 on the 7-day. Taking a look at the range of price, range between 237 and 246. So we're at the top side of that range. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's talk about this. Yeah, it's a great day when we can kick up a conversation about XRP yield to open the video. This is Kevin Maloney, the CEO of iTrust, talking with one and only Zach Rector from our community. Shout out to both of these gentlemen. Take a listen to this about when we could see XRP yield on iTrust.
Bitcoin, and then also staking for Ethereum and Solana. By the way, this can be done in your tax-advantaged or tax-free crypto IRA or in the premium custody account as well. And everybody wants to know on this channel when XRP yield.
It's a priority for us. Part of our meetings here this week are literally to speak about different groups and some due diligence we're doing on potentially participating in some products that we think would be interesting to you, your community, and then of course the $1.5 billion worth of XRP we hold under custody on the platform at iTrustCapital. It's literally our top priority. We need to measure 5 times and cut once. We've met with lots of groups. We've passed on a few concepts and ideas, but I think we're getting close on some things that could be interesting. As a former compliance person, I need to make sure it's reasonable, transparent, safe, less risky than other opportunities we've seen. And then with proper disclosure, we're going to make some things available at some point in the near future, and people can opt in or not. But we hear loud and clear, XRP yield, not having to sell their basis, is really interesting. And so we're looking heavily at that. It's right now our number one priority.
Yeah.
Wow, love hearing that. Shout out to both of those gentlemen. iTrustCapital, keep your eyes peeled. And remember, you can open your PCA, right? The premium custody account. You obviously should open up an IRA and check that out for yourself if you haven't had a chance to take a look at it. But the PCA gives long-term investors the same comfort of institutional grade custody, but it is a closed loop system. And why is that? It allows you to only go in with crypto. You can go in with crypto or cash, but it only allows you to come out as cash. And why is that? Because if you're ever hacked from something you did wrong, the hackers can take your crypto and send it to one exchange to 100 exchanges, then through a mixer, and it's over. You'll never see it again. I've seen it happen over and over and over. The closed loop system only allows you to come out of the account as cash, and it can only go to one place, your US checking account. And that is done to protect you from the bad attack vector that could happen from our end, on our side of the responsibility fence. This is how hard they're working to try to protect us all. Click the link underneath the video and get started today. And make sure you come to XRP Las Vegas, because they're going to be there and you'll get to talk to them in person. XRPLasVegas.com. Get your tickets, ladies and gentlemen. April 30th, May 1st. I think it's going to be the biggest attendance ever. I think we're going to set a record. At the Paris Hotel, it's absolutely beautiful. It is opulent inside of this place. You are going to love this experience we are putting together for you. And shout out to our brother right here from another mother. It's the general of the XRP Army. It's John Deaton himself. The people's champ is off and running tonight and in front of a ruckus crowd in Worcester, Massachusetts. John Deaton announced his run for the U.S. Senate. His time has come for a pro-freedom, pro-common sense senator in Massachusetts who embodies the American dream. There's no question about it. Let's do what we can to support him, ladies and gentlemen. Deaton for Senate. Show him your love. He showed us. BitGo, which activated Evernorth wallet, now creating thousands of XRP wallets a day. And everybody was freaking out about this. I had people sending me messages. Is this the 1,700 NDAs? I don't think so, because when you go down into this, we have a great army. Vet, who does run a validator on the XRP ledger, default unique node list, first called the community's attention to the anomaly, but went on to say basically it looked like here that it was a faulty BitGo script that kept creating these accounts endlessly until it ran out of XRP to create the account. So it looks like an accident that's happened here. We'll have to keep an eye on it in case something else develops, but I could tell you what, we know who Vet is. Vet XO is amazing. He was on stage interviewing David Schwartz last year at XRP Las Vegas. We got to get him back. Let's see if we can get him back. See if we can get them both back. See if we can get David Schwartz from Evernorth and Ashish Burla. How amazing would that be? Yeah, get your tickets to XRP Las Vegas. And this looks like the thousands of addresses was an actual faulty incident that happened. Meanwhile, the House just voted to advance the bill to reopen the government. The Rules Committee passed 8-4 on party lines without adopting any amendments. A full House vote, is set for Wednesday at 4 p.m. So today at 4 p.m., the government should officially be back open for business. We'll see what happens here. And crypto czar David Sachs says the U.S. is a major step closer to becoming the crypto capital of the world. And I do believe that part of that insight was shared because we're going to get the government back open, which can then allow the Senate to move forward to get the Clarity Act passed through, as we know needs to happen, and so much more. Here we see too, and don't forget about the conversation going into 2026. We're going to see bills about strategic reserve and digital asset stockpile reserves. All of that is to come, I believe, in 2026 as well. Meanwhile, Ripple just raised money from Fortress and Citadel to the tune of $500 million, which gives Ripple a $40 billion valuation. I'm highlighting here that Brad Garlinghouse was recently at the Cantor conference, and we do not yet have any interview from that, footage from that, but we are showing it to you because we want to get that to you as soon as we can. You can see here Brad sitting at dinner next to Bo Hines, and that's Brandon Lutnick, Howard Lutnick's son, I believe, Kevin O'Leary sitting there, and then the Winklevoss twins. That's who is at this thing. So hopefully we can get some footage from that event, from comments from Brad and his interviews. He's been very, very bullish. He's been very positive, and everyone at Ripple seems to be taking a very active approach and really kind of laying it out there. You see Ripple being more confident than you ever have, and they've always been confident. I don't even know if confidence is the word, more bold, right? And I love that because I know we have regulations coming here in the States, as well as getting the global cooperation needed around the world, which leads us to this. Monica Long, the president of Ripple, says, great to welcome UK's economic secretary to the Treasury, Lucy Rigby, at Ripple's Singapore office to discuss how digital assets can boost the UK's competitiveness and growth, building on its status as one of the leading financial hubs of the world. Because remember, the UK is a huge financial hub to the world, and they want to keep that by being able to stay up with the innovation of cryptocurrency. So that's a beautiful connection there. Matt Hogan decides to put this tweet out, and this is a post on top of David Sachs' tweet, which acknowledges the Senate Ag Committee releasing their bipartisan draft of market structure legislation for crypto. And he thanks the chairman of that committee for putting it out. And it's a major step closer to providing the regulatory clarity needed to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world. And then Matt Hogan puts on top of this, and I think rightfully so, the market is underestimating the probability of success on market structure legislation, in my opinion. Well, I happen to agree with his opinion. I think it is absolutely spot on, and I think this market is not really prepared for what is going to come should we get that legislation passed by the end of the year, as Senator Lummis and others have said to us over and over and over again. So head on a swivel for that. Meanwhile, we know tomorrow could be the first day for an XRP spot ETF, and if it is, it should be Stephen McClurg's at Canary Capital. Let's hear this clip with Matt Hogan again with Paul Barron.
Of course, is the XRP ETFs. We had Stephen on the other day, and he throws out some crazy numbers. And he's saying that there's a possibility he thinks that we could see double of what Solana has done so far. Do you agree with that in terms of the XRP ETF?
Yeah, I love Steve. I look forward to competing with him on XRP, but he's a good friend. Yes, I think there will be significant interest. The thing that people get wrong about crypto is an asset like XRP definitely has divisive views in the community. There are many people who love it, and there are many people who are skeptical of it. The thing about ETF flows is the people who are skeptical don't matter. All that matters is that there are people who are excited to buy it. That's why you see high inflows. So I think the mistake people make when they estimate something like an XRP ETF is they take the median view of XRP in the crypto community. It doesn't matter. It's that there's this strong, committed community of people who are excited for this product, and they will allocate. So I think XRP will be a big success. I don't know if it will double Solana, but it will.
Well, there you have it. We don't know whether it'll double Solana or not, but I think not only with the big retail community that he's pointing to, but I point back to the institutional side that will have a huge demand for the asset, as Stephen McClurg has highlighted. I think they both are right on the matter. Nonetheless, the Clarity Act by Thanksgiving and right after swift Big Bang cutover to ISO 20025, November 22nd, 2025, we're 12 days away from the moment we've talked about for years. Let's just hear this clip.
Big area of focus, crypto regulation, and last month was a huge month for crypto regulation, with the House passing 3 crypto-related bills. One of those bills, the Genius Act stablecoin regulation bill, was signed into law. So we got our first piece of crypto legislation signed into law, many calling it a watershed moment. How would you categorize it, and what does it signal to the country related to crypto and its priorities for crypto regulation?
Well, we're finally embracing President Trump's goal of having the United States remaining the digital asset capital of the world. We shouldn't be ceding that role to the United Arab Emirates or to Singapore. Even Japan, which is notoriously cautious, has a more robust digital asset regulatory framework than we do, because they're starting to embrace innovation. And it's very important the United States retain that role. So Wyoming has led. Because Wyoming led, I had the embedded statutory framework that Wyoming passed to move into Washington. So we've adapted it to Washington regulatory dominance in commodities and securities, and we're moving forward. So we did stablecoins first. The Genius Act passed. It's now law. And that provided the momentum we needed to do market structure. So the House passed a market structure bill. It's called the Clarity Act.
Right.
We in the Senate are going to mark up in the Senate Banking Committee a market structure bill in September. The Ag Committee will do theirs in October, because they've got the commodities jurisdiction. The Senate Banking Committee has the securities jurisdiction. Then we'll fold them together with Clarity and hopefully get this across the finish line by Thanksgiving or at the latest Christmas.
There you have it right there. We're still on target to get it all done. Charles Hoskinson shared this: ISO 20022 support is essential to open banking and combining the traditional financial world and DeFi worlds together. ADA is glad to be holding the line with XRP, HBAR, Algo, and others, as listed here as he pulls all of this, right? Now, we know that there's no such thing, and there's a long thread really attached to this that goes down and says, you know, even though Charles Hoskin showed this way, there really is no such thing as ISO 20022 tokens, or ISO tokens as people refer to them. ISO 20022 very quickly is a standardization of messaging that does allow for the coding of digital assets. And in that, it lies the ability to integrate that standardization of messaging with those digital assets. And that's how the slang terminology of ISO tokens came about, because people don't want to keep explaining that every time they talk about it. Now, for reference, XRP, Ripple, and Stellar were the first two, and XRP and Ripple were the first to join the ISO 20022 Standards Body Committee. That is a fact. And XLM joined shortly after. And there have been others, obviously, to join that standard body committee as well. But again, ISO 20022 is a standard messaging that is adopted as a standardization for messaging of payments. It has been around for well over a decade, if not longer, and they decided to use this protocol as a standardization to work in the coding of new assets like digital assets such as stablecoins, Bitcoin, XRP, and others, right? That's really the long and short of it. And that is going to be a big bang cutover starting 12 days from now, November 22nd. And now, for those that are confused about all of this and saying, hey, but what about XRP being used with ISO 20022? Well, this guy's going to give a quick demonstration of the two working together to move a payment.
And it's about simplifying payments. I'd like to show you how we are able to integrate XRPL into existing financial accounting systems.
There it is. And the existing accounting system he's getting ready to integrate is ISO 20022 standardization messaging.
First, I'm going to start with showing you a bit how it works today, how users in accounting and small and medium enterprises have to work, followed by a few words about ISO20022 migration, which occurs worldwide, and afterwards I show a tiny demo of my solution, ISO 20022 format. But with my new component, we are able to just fetch these online payments from the ledger and transform them into regular ISO 20022 format. And that seemed to work. It creates a special file which we are able to import within the already known process for the user. And just can show, okay, we have received 5 Swiss francs again, and we can continue in my regular use process. That means, all in all, we can, from a sender side, send payments within our known process over the XRP ledger, and as a receiver, we can just use the ledger to receive all these payments and transform them into a format which my accounting software already understands.
Which is ISO 20022. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're talking about. This is the world we're going to. And currently reading the U.S. Senate bill could officially classify XRP as a commodity because we already know it's not a security, right? That's the path to legal clarity. And the proposed bill developed by Chairman John Boozman, Senator Cory Booker, and others, because they've released from the Ag Committee the draft bill, right? And it basically argues further that XRP's function for payments and settlement make it a utility asset, not an investment contract, which we already have this resolved from the 2023 decision in the court case, right? We know it's not a security. Now, this provides the same kind of clarity for the rest of the market as well as XRP. But that is where we are, and we're ever close to getting that final decision. Now, with that being said, I wanted to share this because Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev says tokenization will unlock 24/7 markets, and once people experience it, they'll never go back. And he's absolutely right about that, because that's what we experience in crypto, and that's what tokenization can allow in traditional finance and traditional markets. So let's just connect the dots here. Robinhood is partnered with Citadel for payments for order flow, and Ripple partners with Citadel to raise $500 million for a $40 billion valuation of Ripple. Robinhood bought Bitstamp, and Bitstamp is building tokenized stocks and derivatives on the XRP ledger. Together, billions and eventually trillions will run and be settled on the XRP ledger. Any questions? And at the same time, we're watching SWIFT cut over to ISO 20022. In 12 days. And in 12 days, the ISO 20022 standard will be met at the bottleneck of Hidden Road acquisition by Ripple, Rail Financial by Ripple, G Treasury by Ripple, and Palisade that is owned by Ripple. And this sets the stage for a compliant, transparent, new digital on-chain economy, and Ripple and the XRP ledger are smack dab in the middle of it. So could we see the power of 27 times? Because it could put us at plus $27. I don't know. Egg Rag Crypto will tell you he doesn't know, but the charts are saying so, and we just have to see if it'll play out, and if it does, will it reach these levels or not? It remains to be seen. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.